It's not often that I get visitors.
Are you the Wasp Woman?
I am Tetsuo Crumb. The ignorant of harvest called me the Wasp Woman. A pejorative, no doubt, born of fear and a poverty of imagination.
I don't understand.
The politics of honey, the Judeo-Christian rites of sacrifice and conventional taboos against unbridled pleasure are all responsible for the prejudice against wasps. Yes, a great deal of pleasure. The wasp is a sensual being, not a laborer, hedonistic instead of industrial. Some think them quick to anger. In truth, they are easily swayed to ecstasy. They penetrate your flesh, and the muscular contractions in their thorax as they pump venom could be likened to the muscular contractions of ejaculation. Each painful welt, an act of love.
Well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work.
Did you say hello to your father for me? It's very important. Tell him. Tell him that I hope he gets better soon, and don't forget to remind him about his promise regarding the meat. I could use some good news right now. I just got the word. The order turned down my latest application. Looks like we'll be having the wedding at Moynihan's after all. So, what's new, Steve? How could anyone do something so terrible to her?
You think someone took her?
I think? Oh no, see, it was a kidnapping, haven't you heard? The sheriff got a ransom note. Seems someone wants to dip into Edna's larder. Too bad such a sweet little thing has to suffer. I'm sure I couldn't tell you, Steve. Why so interested? A word to the wise, Steve? You leave that kind of stuff to the sheriff. This isn't something you want to be messing with.
Why not?
There are better ways for you to spend your time. Have you applied to the lodge yet? There's no time like the present, believe me. You should apply, and soon. Someone went and scraped up Johnson's car? Can you imagine? He'd step in a bear trap and chew his own leg off rather than suffer a scratched tucker. Serves the rich bastard right, if you ask me.
Steve, I'm so glad you came back. What have you been doing?
I visited the lodge. Talked to the sergeant-at-arms there. He knows that there's something out of whack here. He told me if I wanted to find out what it is, I should join the lodge. I've decided to join the lodge, Stephanie. I think the answer to all our questions is inside.
That place. It's so sinister. You may be playing right into their hands. Did you think of that? Doesn't it seem like you're being herded toward the lodge?
That's one of the things I hope to find out.
I hope finding out doesn't get you killed. My faux mother keeps me up on the latest gossip. Not like she really wants to talk to me. More like she's feeding me information. For instance, she told me that Mr. Johnson's Tucker was vandalized. That's another weird thing. Every car I've seen drive by is a Tucker. There were only 31 produced. What are the odds of that?
I've always wanted a Tucker. Funny that Harvest would be full of them.
Any idea who scratched the car? Why would you do something like that?
It's part of the lodge initiation.
I see.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but getting into the lodge is the best way to find out.
By committing vandalism? It was a crime, Steve.
Don't be so melodramatic about it. I've heard of worse fraternity initiations.
Sorry. When you put it that way, I guess I was overreacting. I understand that a little girl is missing.
That's right. Her name's Karen.
I heard the pod parents talking about it downstairs. When did it happen?
Tuesday night.
God, that was a bad night for everyone. Tuesday, our upstairs toilet backed up. As if that wasn't bad enough, Mr. Pottsdam was livid, almost irrational. Like the toilet had it in for him personally. Through the wall, I kept hearing him ask somebody named Mr. Swell whether the toilet would be fixed by dark. And when Swell said it'd take most of the night to fix, Daddy totally lost it. Swell said he'd stay all night and fix it, but that didn't seem to help. Pottsdam stormed out of the house and didn't come back till next morning. Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Think about taking some of that siding off my hands, son. I'll cut you a nice price on it. Too bad about Edna's daughter going missing. That was a strange night. I remember that evening. The Pottsdam's upstairs bathroom toilet backed up. I've seen folks upset about that stuff, but Mr. Pottsdam was just furious. Heck, they even got a downstairs bathroom. But when I told him it'd take most of the night to fix, he stormed out of the house. Some folks are hard to figure. Nice to see you again, Steve.
Boy, the way you keep pestering me, you'd think you were feeling guilty about something. Are you? I understand you witnessed Miss Whaley's dispensing a little discipline at the school, and she thinks you may be feeling a mite bent about it. That's always the wisest course, boy. Sticking your nose where it doesn't belong can get you in a world of trouble. Especially if you're a gynecologist. Heck, there isn't a psychiatrist around who'd disagree about what a calming influence a dent in the head can be. You can't argue with science, Steve. It's bigger than all of us. I got a report here that someone put a ding on Johnson's Tucker. As ornery as Johnson is about that old car, I suppose he had it coming. I imagine it was just some kids pulling a prank. I suppose you've heard the news about Edna's daughter Karen disappearing. Tuesday night. This is a serious crime, and this is no time for civilians to be nosing around playing cops and robbers. Steve, I'd give this advice to my own son, if I had one. Leave this be. This is not the kind of thing you should look into. Sow some wild oats, boy. Kick up your heels. Join the lodge. Join the lodge, Steve, and leave Karen to the professionals. Stop on by any time, Steve.
Kiddo, you brought me any of them girly picture books?
No, sorry.
Oh, heck. Why should you be any different from the sheriff or Mrs. Loomis. Steve, I'd be right obliged if you could just see clear to bringing me just one of them books. Believe me, it'll be worth your time to do it. Any time, kiddo.